All right, so we're here to talk about Ghostblade's matchups. I just felt necessary to make this video because I've been having one very specific character play, like a couple of character specialists who all use this character, decide that they want to play me in this one fucking matchup, and I refuse to play this fucking matchup. Like, by any means. I am learning a whole ass pocket character just to fight this character because fighting that character is a crime against God. I refuse to do it to myself. So, just to get the shit out the way, if you play Striker and you lose 4 rounds to any Ghostblade, they are now legally your dad. I don't care what you gotta say about it. That matchup is so fucking easy. You should not be losing that matchup. You shouldn't even be losing a game, let alone 2 games to a Ghostblade. And then if you like manage to lose to a Ghostblade as a Striker in Grand Finals, they might as well just live with you at that point, because you fucked up to like such a vast degree that I cannot even put into words how bad. I don't want to say how bad you are, but like, Jesus Christ, you made it to Grand Finals to lose to a Ghostblade. You lost your easiest matchup. Like, this matchup doesn't even feel like it's 6-4. It feels like it's borderline 7-3. Do not lose this matchup. I pray. I beg. So, if you're wondering why I'm ducking you in sets and you play Striker, yeah, it's because of how bad this matchup is. I can't throw out normals because you could just jump and dive kick me on my normals. I have to play, I have to, like, pray that you're bad as a player or you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But since the game is, like, evolving, and now people are like starting to optimize their guard breaks, yeah, it's really not a good. It's not a fun time for Ghostblade. Like, I think this is the only matchup, honestly, where I have to be looking at I have to look at my health bar or my guard break and ponder to myself, should I just take the hit here? Should I just let go of the? I've been playing fighting games for quite a long time, and I never had to once consider, maybe I should just take the hit, just to avoid dying from guard break, which is madness in of itself. Like, think about that. You have a resource that's dedicated to blocking, and because of how bad the matchup is, you just be like, do I take the guard break and die, or do I let them hit me to avoid dying, just for them to put me in the same position so I can die in the next combo that happens? That is how easy this. That's how bad this matchup is. I'll be looking at resources, I'm just like, damn, I really gotta take the hit here. Fuck it. I guess I can survive for one more combo, and then hate myself because I get hit anyways. Fuck that matchup. I'm not playing that matchup in the tournament. I'm not playing that matchup at all. I'm learning Berserker just to fight that matchup. Fuck that matchup. Now, the fun thing about Ghostblade is a lot of his matchups are determined by whether he can fuzzy you or not. So, just for like point of reference, let's just add a row below. And this row doesn't have much influence on whether it's well, it has a lot of influence actually on whether it's a good or bad matchup. But we're just gonna call this the fuzzy list, right? So the fuzzy list contains Hitman, Crusader, Lost Warrior, and Vanguard, right? So these are 4 characters specifically where you can get a knockdown and then have them guess between high-low, because you can hit them with Rising JB. And it'll hit them on the way up, which is really good because it kind of just helps determine how good, like, it helps like level some of these matchups. So case in point, Hitman would ordinarily be a bad matchup for Ghostblade, but you can technically play around his awakening and not deal with the threat of his having his special moves having a follow-up if you just fuzzy him. Like, so ideally you could like play to like 40% and then end the combo there, and then you set up the high-low mix, and then if he gets hit, because his JB and his 2B do the exact same damage, regardless of what option you hit him with, it's still a free 50% provided you don't drop the combo. So you completely negated ever having to deal with Hitman bullshit. Now, there are times where it's just like you have to like you're threading the needle and you're like wondering like how to end this combo, but just end, like, if you're wondering like if it's getting too close to 30%, just end with 4S immediately. You can always find the opportunity to end with 4S and just take the hard knockdown and just go from there. So that's the only reason I'm putting it even, because of the fact that you could just play around his awakening. I actually think Ghostblade, like, because it started, like, the conversation started evolving into just end the combos early, or like don't let him get into Awakening and then kill him with the next touch. I think Ghostblade has like one of the easier times implementing that strategy when fighting Hitman. So Troubleshooter. So me and So Sick Nash Fan both agree that the matchup is bad for Ghostblade, but it's not like 6-4 bad. It's just 5.5. I bleed very easily, and I think the one saving grace about this matchup is that unlike a lot of characters, I can actually nuke Troubleshooter for punishing him when he tries to DP me. But the problem is that it's kind of hard contesting him in the air at times because it requires me to commit to an option. Like if he does air grenade, I could just teleport and punish him on the way down. That's fine, whatever. But if he does JMS, then it's just like, oh well, I just died. It's not really a fun time. It's a lot of like, and then I can't, like, against, how to put this, because I can't actually fuzzy Troubleshooter, I don't have the opportunity to like just try and circumvent his Awakening. So I actually do have to deal with his Awakening, which kind of makes him as a threat full screen, which is not fun. So as of right now, I'd definitely say this is slight disadvantage. Just his damage output is outrageous. Jump M being +2, and then just his getting hit by this character is not a fun time. And he has so much ways to hit you, it's not even funny. I do think, like, if as time progresses, the matchup might turn to even because of a couple factors, considering that Troubleshooter only has an 8-frame normal, and if Ghostblade does manage to like get range 0 on Troubleshooter, you can start abusing JS against him and just hack away at his health, because JS is +4. He has 8-frame, so anytime you land JS, you could either try and shimmy him or just press 5B, and that's a medium starter, so if you want to get your rocks off, feel free to do so. But for now, I put this character in a slight disadvantage. Vanguard, the times I play it, it feels like it's even. It's one of those matchups I'm not too familiar with, but I don't see there being anything oddly specific that would make this matchup bad or disadvantages for advantages or disadvantages for Ghostblade. It just feels like it's whoever gets the rocks off first, honestly. Like, he's better at threatening the ranges that I want to be in, but if I get on top of him, it doesn't feel like I have anything to be concerned with, especially with how shitty his DP is, honestly. I'm gonna just switch songs. Lost Warrior. Lost Warrior is actually one of the few matchups I could tell his advantages, because he has nothing going for him in the matchup. He has slow normals, he can be fuzzied, he doesn't have a DP. Like, all I gotta do is just get the knockdown. How do I feel about Berserker? Berserker's even. Like, I played TSP Blaze in a matchup. Like, me and Blaze played like a first to, I don't want to call it a first to death, but we might as well call it a first to death, because we didn't really have an intended number that we were going to. And surprisingly enough, there are a lot of technical nuances in the matchup, but at the same time, it definitely feels evenish. You just have to be mindful of the fact that Berserker can't contest Ghostblade in the air, but at the same time, Berserker's normals does give Ghostblade a little bit of problems, specifically 2B, because the low profiles are 5A, I believe. So at round start, it's kind of weird, because it's like, okay, I want to press my button here because I know it can't. If he presses any other normal, I would win. But then he just goes under everything and just presses 2B, and it's just like, oh shit. So the round start interaction is hilarious, because it's just like, okay, do I swing or is he gonna 2B? If he 2Bs, that means I have to jump him. If I jump and he 2Bs, I get a punish. I get to kill him for it. But if he doesn't commit to 2B, I'm just kind of in the air floating, wondering, oh crap, I'm about to just die now. So it's a lot of like wait and see. And the other interesting thing about it is that because Berserker's trait does damage to himself, or Great Life to himself, a lot of this is like, okay, if Berserker gets the first hit and he goes into frenzy, it's okay, whatever. But then the second hit is a weird interaction, because if he doesn't get that second hit and we return to neutral, things can go really bad for Berserker because of how much health he's already lost and Ghostblade's high damage output. So what ends up happening is Berserker will hit me once and he's already at half health. And I'm like, okay, cool. We both die in one touch now. Especially if I hit you with 5B. 5B means you're dying anyway. Like 5B means you're dying and I don't have to like optimize it. I can just kill you. 5A or 2A is like, all right, cool. I gotta like optimize and like pray that the next interaction kills you. 5B is like, oh, you're just dead. Next round. So a lot of times what will happen is that I won't get the first hit, but I'll always get the first kill. Because he'll hit me and lose so much great health with this combo. And it's like, all right, cool. We return to neutral. Everything is like going great. And then I managed to get the hit. And now you're there. Other things that you have to know about the matchup is that, no, you have to know about the character specifically, is that Ghostblade's 5B and 2S are disjointed. So Berserker can't use fireballs unless it's to like meet you. Because the moment he throws fireball, you can press 5B and it's a free punish. I think this is probably the matchup I enjoyed the most. And it's only hilariously ironic because these two come from the same class. Oh no, Blaze is definitely doing that. Blaze is reacting with Blaze is definitely reacting to to guard cancels with conversion consistently. Like, that's one of the things he looks for. That's why I hate fighting him. Crusader, even. Obviously. So you could believe, hilariously, this is like a I don't call this like the traditional me versus Fame matchup, but this is technically the traditional me versus Fame matchup. Fame plays a character that wants to bully me. I would play a character that can bully him back, but it's not as fun as him bullying me. And I only get to bully him because of his size. Which is weird, because it's kind of like Lance versus Masaraga in a sense. But it's hard to explain in that in terms of a Grand Blue sense. So Crusader has slow normals, but Crusader has slow normals but larger reach. Ghostblade has fast normals, and I can kind of challenge him. The problem is whoever gets to hit first. My reference for the matchup is GC Yoshi, not the Crusader that you typically see with on screen. And every time I fight GC Yoshi, it's usually like down to the wire, something went wrong, something went right. So you just gotta be aware that like, oh, you could just fuzzy him, make him always against the high-low. Even if he wants to try and guard break, it's whatever, because it's just like you don't gotta worry about him throwing the meat shield and being plus in your face. So you kind of just want to like play at certain ranges. Also, he can't throw fireball against you because, you know, 5B or 2S can punish it depending on the range. So ideally, you just want to get him Crusader to the corner as quickly as possible. But on the flip side, Crusader doesn't want to be anywhere near you. I think ideally, if you want to play this matchup right, you're trying to like zone Ghostblade in a sense with your normals. But not much Crusaders are doing that. Crusaders only do that when you put the fear of God in them by realizing the threat of what could possibly happen by them trying to play you at range 0. Swiftmaster disadvantage. I don't think I have to explain this, so I'm not gonna explain this. This is not a fun matchup. It's not as fun as popping off on a 5-year-old, but it's still not a fun matchup. Okay. So, I don't know if Sean L is in this chat, so I'm gonna say this just so Sean could not leave. So Sean could leave me alone later. This matchup is slight advantage. And what's weird is that like, I don't know how, but like the more I play, it's like you could be like, if someone wants to say Ghostblade versus Grappler is even, I could see the argument there. But you could also argue slight advantage. It's one of the matchups that like the more I play it is the more I'm unsure of where it lands in the chart. but you could put it in either option, and I would probably agree. The reason for it being slight advantage is essentially Ghostblade's range on his low normals, which kind of just fuck up anything anything Grappler wants to do. So like, how to put this? No matter what Grappler does, because he wants to like get to range 0, you have a lot of ways to stop. You have a lot of ways of stopping him as Ghostblade, which all just involve low normals. Even certain moves like his tackle, you could just kind of just get the fuck out of the way. So typically, if I see like grapplers charging up tackle, I usually just press 6S just to get past him, and just have him take the hit of armor and just to reset neutral. Obviously, grappler's win condition is to reach range 0 because you have no DP, but as long as you keep him out of range until you actually secure the hit, you should be relatively fine. You just have to remember, okay, 2B, press 2A. Even if he's trying to like cancel it or anything, just press 2A, because whatever he's doing is gonna guard crush. If he tries to go into like his air stomp, just remember to challenge him in the air with JA, which has really good horizontal range, and then you can convert with JA, JB, JA, JB, JM, and then depending on range, you can go for JA or JB again, and then convert how you like. So I don't. How to put this? It's not a fun matchup once he gets in, but it is doable. You just have to not let the motherfucker ever get close to you. Kanoichi feels even. I played a first attempt with Master Mike, the guy who won Heat Wave for DNF. He plays a very solid Kanoichi. It's one of those matches where it doesn't feel like there's anything inhibiting the matchup on either side. Like, there's nothing that prevents him from doing what he wants to do, and there's nothing that like makes me feel like I have a clear-cut advantage of what I want to do. Yeah, a lot of his matchups just feel like he can do what I want. He can do what he wants, and I can do what I want, but we can't stop each other from doing what the other wants to do. With the exception of like Lost Warrior and these 3 matchups, like none of these matchups even feel like they can prevent me from running my game plan as the way I want to. Ranger feels like slight advantage because of, again, how slow his normals are. He's like you could treat it like Lost Warrior in a sense, except the fact that you can't fuzzy him, and you can't you can still bully him the same way. Especially considering that, like, I think one of the worst things about this matchup for him is the fact that his normals are technically counter hit state until whatever. So what ends up happening is, like, in this matchup, regardless of the fact that Ranger is a ranged character that I'm trying to like close the distance, I could just throw out 2S, and it's really low risk, high reward for me. I may get hit, but if the 2S trades with him and counter hits him, regardless if I got knocked down, I still get to convert. Like, there have been times where I just got hit. Like, I'll just throw it out there. Oh, congrats, it hit. I'm taking like 50% of your health now. And it's kind of weird because it's like, it makes it easier to close the gap, but it's just like, it feels like it's one of those things that should not be in the game in a sense. Like, it doesn't make sense that it is in the game, but I still abuse it. Because why the fuck not? Ranger having slow normals. Being able to close the distance with teleport and following up after Ghost is really helpful. It doesn't feel like he has a really consistent way of trying to play the range game that he wants. So he's kind of forced to play it in my range, which works in my favor. Inquisitor, I'm leaning towards slight advantage for the sole fact that teleport just fucks up a lot of her game plan. She can't, especially if she's like trying to play it safe, just throw holy water at me or try to throw pinwheel at me. I could just teleport out the way and just punish her for it. It doesn't feel like she has like a really safe and consistent way of like running her game plan when I just have a 1-button teleport and I could just prevent her from doing what she wants to do. Even the fact that like she has like all this like mind games, you can kind of just react to it. It doesn't feel like she has anything consistent or going for her in the matchup. It just feels like, okay, and the fact that she has such low health is a really big deterrent, because it just feels like, okay, everything you're doing is at an inherent risk to yourself, because if you fuck up your game plan, I'm taking at least half of your life, even if it's off of a light starter. So it's kind of like not fun. Enchantress right now feels even. Again, it's one of those, I can't prevent her from doing what she wants to do, but she can't prevent me from doing what I want to do. I'll definitely say it's one of the matchups that I feel I am the most unfamiliar with, but even the Enchantresses and Deity, I haven't found anything that's just like, okay, this is something I have to lab, this is something I have to know about, because I don't have an option here. A launcher, I'm leaning towards slight advantage, but if someone argued even, I could see it. It just depends on how the matchup is played, but at the same time, it's definitely one of the two matchups that I'm most unfamiliar with. That and Enchantress. Dragonite. I don't know where I'd put Dragonite. If I was to put Dragonite somewhere, it'd probably be... let's make another one. If I actually do not know where I put Dragonite. Dragonite's probably one of the more confusing ones. Like, it's definitely a matchup that I've been grinding, but I can't tell if it's... I don't know. Dragonite's a big ... and I don't know if I'd put her in even or disadvantages. It just feels very weird. Like, I can contest her dragon and play the range game with her fine. Even when she tries to fly, like if she tries to like do air, fireball, fly, you can still like fuck with her by doing 5S. But I still feel like there's some lack of information on my side that would make this a full committed decision. But if I was to like pick one, I think I might be leaning more towards even. Like, I don't feel fighting Dragonite is as hard. I don't think fighting a good Dragonite is as hard as fighting a good troubleshooter. And I think that's the problem I'm having on deciding where I want to put it. But yeah, this would probably be my matchup chart for Ghostblade. We could add like 2 more things here. I don't know. Let's fix this up. Yeah, so this is probably what it would look like. What the fuck is that? Yeah, so this is what my start. So do you guys have any questions? If not, I could just say bye to YouTube, everyone, and then I can have fun editing this and cry about editing this. But yeah, I think this is like. I think Ghostblade's pretty solid. Outside of this fucking character. This character's fucking medicine needs to be deleted. I know you're in here like ass. This character needs to be deleted. character needs to be gutted, deleted. Sleeping with the fishes. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy. And see you guys for the next video.